Hi everyone, my name is Tiara Finley, and this is my podcast project for a funeral profession. My topic today is post-mortem photography. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history and where it's led us today. To start things off, I like to start with the history of where this all came from. So post-mortem photography started in about the 1850s. The family started commissioning portraits of their deceased loved ones in a trend that also became known as memento mori photography. The subjects were mostly infants and children, and the pictures were normally taken by a window because it was believed that the deceased would bathe in the heavenly light of the sun coming through the windows. At the time, the pupils were painted on to give a more life to the person in the photos. Some of the children as well were also pictured with their favorite toys. The process allowed for the families to remember the loved one as they were forever. The biggest thing that Victorian people were afraid of wasn't death, but indeed they were afraid of forgetting the loved one as time went on. So having those pictures really gave them peace of mind that they would never forget. A cool fun fact for you guys, Queen Victoria slept beneath a postmortem photo of her husband, and that same photo that she used to sleep under can also be seen in her death portrait as she lays in her casket. The Victorian people were not posing the body. I know that's kind of controversial. They were posing the body, but not posing them to make others believe that they were alive. But rather arranging the body with intention. Now, when a lot of the children were posed for postmortem, they were, a lot of the times, if they were younger children, they were positioned in the arms of their parents, their mom, their dad. Sometimes they were even depicted next to their siblings. And at the time, they also would make it look like the child was sleeping. So it looks peaceful. Most of the arranging, if you will, was done using pillows, furniture, and sometimes even like family members holding them up. Like I said, some of the younger children were held in the arms of their moms, dads. Victorians did not alter the body by any means. They did things pretty natural. So based off of like the way that you passed away, like sometimes our eyes don't close. They didn't have the same devices that we have now to close the eyes, so they would have to work with whatever they had in the home to close the eyes and things like that. But a majority of the time, especially if you look back in some photos of children at the time, their eyes were still open. They didn't have the fancy plastic eye caps that we have today. So like I said earlier, most post-mortem photos were deceased children and infants. A lot of people looking back at them today, I've heard that some people feel eerie about it. I've heard that some people think it's creepy. But to the people that got those photos done, they did not view the images that way at all, actually. They were able to see their personal connection with their loved one through those photos, and that was their way of holding on and grieving. And it wasn't at all just infants, children, and adults. A lot of the times there was also pets were often recognized as part of the family, so they also got pictures done. Sometimes, the family dog would be in a picture as well. That was there to show the deep emotional attachment felt by the people in that family. So today, in today's day and age, it's not necessarily called post-mortem photography. It actually goes by a couple different names. So one of the ones I'm going to talk about right now is there's a couple different names for it. So it's called water immersion photography. This one is typically for infant loss. It is also known as neonatal photography. So this type of photography is used for miscarriages. The practice is generally immersing the deceased baby in a saline water or another type of clear fluid, because the fluid has to be clear in order to take pictures. This practice is now in many of the hospitals today across the world for grieving mothers and families. They do this by placing baby in the solution, and by doing that, you're softening features, and it gives off an appearance of what they looked like in the womb. So it makes it feel very peaceful and at ease. This offers a visual memory for the family that you can keep forever. It allows you to see your baby at peace. This typically was used in the second trimester or further on. This is due to the size of the baby. Another form of photography that we still do today and is still available today is called bereavement photography. It is for children to create memories. There is some services that do more than just the photography. They'll do handprints, fingerprints, things like that. Like I said earlier, there is way more than just photographs to offer now. In a lot of funeral homes, they will also do the fingerprints. So the reason that people did it in the history prior is very similar to the reason we do it today. It's to remember and hold on to the memories of our loved ones. But I want to thank you all for joining in, and thank you for listening. Have a good day.